Kalima. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, released in 1984 and is directed by Steven Spielberg, who is behind this entire Indiana Jones franchise and basically all of pop culture in general. And this movie, of course, is starring Harrison Ford, Kate Capshaw, Quan, Amrish Puri, Roshan Seth, and Philip Stone. Before Indiana Jones ever raided a lost ark, he was on the run from some gangsters in Shanghai. And as the plane that he was on is hijacked, he manages to escape with his two companions and manages to find himself at Bangkok Palace. And there he encounters a bunch of evil-doing people, ripping people's hearts out and sacrificing to some god of something. So it's up to Indiana Jones to stop the evil in this place and free all the children who are enslaved by them. And I was today years old when I realized that this movie, even though it's the second entry in the Indiana Jones franchise, is actually a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I have been watching this movie for 35 years. This character, these films have been a part of my life, my entire life, and I was just today years old realizing that this movie chronologically takes place before Raiders of the Lost Ark. That it just explains so much to me. I always thought that this entry was weird in the original Indiana Jones trilogy. This one always felt like the oddball out. This one felt like the black sheep because Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade feel very intelligent, feel like this is about an archaeologist who is digging up graves and looking for historic artifacts. This one feels like Indiana Jones wants to be James Bond, which Indiana Jones has a lot of James Bondish qualities about him, and when George Lucas was developing the character and Steven Spielberg was getting involved, I know they talked a lot about how they loved James Bond and wanted to approach this character kind of in the same aspect, but I liked when they settled on Indiana Jones being just a gigantic nerd and being the archaeologist and going around knowing all the historical things that happen and fighting the Nazis. Here's just one big action set piece and one big objective and hurdle that they have to overcome to get to the next big one, and it just keeps going for about 2 hours. This movie is one great big roller coaster. And I'm not saying that's a terrible thing. I like roller coasters. Roller coasters are fun. After a while, though, it gets to a point where, like, okay, I need to get my feet on the ground and I need to get grounded somewhere. I need to relax. I don't need to keep going up and down constantly. But this movie doesn't let up. The pacing is crazy. It keeps going. Even in moments when we are trying to slow down, we're trying to find those intimate character moments between Indiana Jones and Willie and Short Round. There's still some like crazy action set piece that always happens with it. And maybe now realizing that this is a younger version of Indiana Jones, granted I think chronologically this takes place like a year before the events of Raiders of Lost Ark, but still, it's a younger Indiana Jones, and I think that helps me kind of ease my criticism about this movie. He's a younger character. He's not as old and wise as he was in Raiders, even though, again, it's just a year, but still. And Harrison Ford is his Harrison Ford self, where he delivers lines very unenthusiastically, I guess. And he's trying his damnedest to come across as this big, bulkish, bravado, male-dominant character. When deep down, we'll talk about this when I review Raiders of the Lost Ark this week, he's a big, gigantic freaking nerd. This movie is very iconic, though. This one started the whole idea of Indiana Jones being an attraction, being a ride at Universal, being an adventure where you're swinging through vines and swinging through the forest and overcoming all these different obstacle courses. You have them falling out of the plane on the big life buoy, which totally makes scientific sense. He's on the little zip line trying to make it to the little cart on the track, and they're going through the mines, where it's literally a roller coaster. I called this movie itself just a roller coaster in its writing. They literally have a roller coaster in this film. That's how much of a roller coaster, how much of a ride this movie is. And then, of course, you have the iconic Kali Ma scene with the heart being ripped out. It's one of the most iconic death scenes of all time, I think. It's one that I occasionally think of, like, every couple of days, of going like, huh, yeah, that really sucked for that guy. At what point do you realize to yourself that, gosh, I'm really fucked, when you're in that little contraption and you're looking at the dude holding your beating heart in his hand, like, you know you can't walk away. You know you're gonna die either by walking away or by the fire pit, so when do you just go like, fuck it? And I never understood why Molaram never did that to Willie. because I really wanted him to. The character's just so freaking annoying. It's really nice being the wife of the director of a film. You get all of the great things delivered to you on a silver platter. But she was strapped into the contraption. She had her arm free, so she was covering her heart. Like, I never understood why didn't they just lock her up and then he ripped out her heart and then just lower her down. Like, let's just kill her. I don't know why she's a part of this. She has no saying or no being on what got them here in the first place. She was a lounge singer in Shanghai, and he just kind of grabbed her and threw her out the window with himself. And then she went on this journey with him. Why did she get on that plane? Why didn't she just go back to her place in Shanghai? Why does she continue to keep following this man everywhere that he goes? I always wish that she would have died, but, you know, this is a action-adventure piece where all the heroes need to survive, so cool, she's here. Thank God we never got her in another one of these Indiana Jones movies again. And Short Round is absolutely delightful. He has so much great energy, and he steals the scenes with Indiana Jones. I love that they finally reunited last year at D23. Just how freaking cool was that? They hadn't seen each other in like 20, 30 years. It's Short Round and Dr. Jones. That's amazing. Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom. It's definitely, in my opinion, the worst of the trilogy. It's not terrible, though. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a major roller coaster that's constantly going, and if you're just in the mood for a fun action movie, this is the film for you. If you're looking for anything dramatic or anything substantial, you're not going to get that from this one. I would recommend definitely The Last Crusade if you're looking for like a emotional plot point to the movie. You're not going to get that here. I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, if you've seen Temple of Doom, what did you think about it? What is your ranking of all of the Indiana Jones films, including Dial of Destiny that came out this past weekend? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm released next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.